Ambassador John Herbst, for more than 3 decades, has been at the forefront of American diplomacy, security, and international affairs. A career diplomat who rose to the rank of Career Minister, one of the highest distinctions in the United States Foreign Service. Ambassador Herbst served as U.S. Ambassador to Uzbekistan during a period of growing strategic importance for Central Asia, and later as U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine during the Orange Revolution, a defining moment in the country's democratic development. His service extended beyond diplomacy. At the U.S. Department of State, he served as coordinator for reconstruction and stabilization, leading U.S. civilian efforts to assist countries emerging from conflict and instability. He also served as director of the Center for Complex Operations at the National Defense University, helping strengthen cooperation among diplomatic, civilian, and military institutions in addressing international crises. A recipient of some of the highest honors in American public service, Ambassador Herbst is today widely recognized as one of America's leading experts on Ukraine, Russia, Eurasian security, and the challenges posed by disinformation, influence operations, and hybrid warfare. Today, he serves as Senior Director of the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center.
So, Ambassador Herbst, we're so happy to have this conversation with you today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
The first question I would like to raise is talk about your past. So you start your career as a diplomat in diplomacy since 1979.
Correct.
So why did you choose diplomat way? And when is particularly you understood that you want to go deeper in the question of disinformation and the information influence and learn it more like how it works systematically and so on?
All right. Like many boys of my generation, I was interested in war. And I remember being 7 or 8 and reading everything I could about the American Revolution, the American Civil War, and later about World War I and World War II. And by the time I was in junior high school, so maybe 13 or so, I remember reading about negotiations to end the dispute in Cyprus. I thought, this is interesting. And a couple of years later in high school, I began to learn that there's such a life of a diplomat. I read several books by George Kennan, and I said, maybe this is something I want to do. And I studied international relations in college, which was unusual then in the early 1970s because there were very few international relations programs. Georgetown University had a school devoted to diplomacy. That's where I studied. And from there, I became a Foreign Service officer.
I'm going to have, in the end of our podcast interview, I'm going to have the one question about George Kennan.
Okay.
We're going to go to that. But yeah, so now if we move to the topic basically of the disinformation, specifically Russian disinformation. So in your writings, you've argued actually that the purpose of disinformation is often not simply to persuade people of particular narrative, but to undermine confidence on basically of existence of the objective truth.
Right.
So why has this strategy proven to be so effective in the 21st century?
Well, it's one important reason is that certainly Western culture, American and European, is deeply skeptical. And if the culture, elite culture, prizes skepticism, then it's relatively easy to sow doubt because you're speaking to an audience which is susceptible to such arguments. And I think that's why we've seen, going back to the very first days of Moscow's war on Ukraine, so I'm talking about 2014, when you had the Russian shoot-down of the Malaysian airliner in the summer of 14, Russian disinformation was putting out all kinds of different narratives in order to divert attention from the true narrative, which this was a relatively sophisticated Russian missile, the Buk, which was used to shoot down that airliner.